Hello guys, this is Doronsmovies and you're watching the 16th episode of the lore Q&A. Okay, so if you had noticed, I've kinda been inactive lately and I had some issues and other things to do, but I should be coming back to regular schedule right now and pretty much just expect a lore Q&A every week or so and a lore lesson every 2 or 3 days. Depends on the lore lesson and the size of the lore lesson. Okay, so let's just continue. So if you would like to get your questions answered, just make sure you either put them on the lore Q&A videos or send me a message on either Facebook or Twitter, as you have links in the description for that below. Okay, so let's start. Stefan asks, if Durotan and Reka refuse to drink the demon blood, then why is Troll green? Well, yeah, I believe I had already answered this question in the second or the third episode of the lore Q&A. But just to repeat, what I have found out is that Durotan and Reka were pretty much exposed to the fell magics when they were captured near the Hellfire Citadel, and that turned their skin green, thus making Droll green as well. And although I honestly believe the issue and the real actual issue with that is that they only came up with the whole brown orc Magar thing in the Burning Crusade, and they didn't really think too much about it when they had originally designed the Frostwolf clan and Troll, Reka and Durotan and all of that. So yeah, I mean, I honestly believe that is the issue, but they pretty much explained that by saying that they were exposed to fell magics. Okay, next on. J Super asks, shouldn't the Scourge be free, cause when Arthas died there was no Lich King for 2 minutes and that should have for sure freed them like it did the Forsaken. Okay, well, the Forsaken freed themselves because Arthas was kind of losing power and he just didn't have enough power to control the Forsaken. And what I'm guessing is that when he died, for like a minute there was no Lich King, but then when Bolvar took the crown, I would say that he had just as much power he needed to control the rest of the Scourge. I mean, the Scourge did get destroyed after all, and not much of it was left, and I'm guessing that Bolvar had enough power to recontrol the Scourge after the death of Arthas. Alright, next. Matthew asks, how annoyed were you when Blizzard decided to kill off Rhonin Redhair so quickly? His story in WoW was a tiny amount of Breath of the Lich King and that is it. I personally think it is a stupid move. He could have had such a larger role within the game and the lore. Well, I mean, yeah, it is true. I mean, he was in the books for a long time, ever since like 2001 too, so he was pretty much in the story since the first war, and as far as I know, he was only added in Wrath of the Lich King, and then killed off during the Mist of Pandaria in the book called Tides of War, by sacrificing himself in order to save Jaina, so I don't really think it was the best move ever, but I feel like Blizzard is trying to kill off a few characters here and there in order to get some like new and fresh ones, and kind of also give players a bigger reason to hate Garrosh and his terrible leadership. So yeah, I mean, that is just my guess why they kind of killed off Rhonin, even though he was in the lore for like 10-15 years. So yeah, I mean, that's just my guess. Okay, continuing on. Whippet Gaming and Trolling asks, do you think we will ever get any Tauren lore? We don't even know where they come from, and do you think they were a seed race like the dwarves and gnomes, or did they just pop out of nowhere like the trolls or goblins? Okay, so the Tauren lore is kind of mysterious. I mean, as it states that they actually told their history in speech, and have not written much of it, like it was just pretty much passed on from father to son, so that is why not much of it is known. But as I have found out, it is actually said that they predated the Titans and that they are one of the original seed races, and some say that they have woken up at the same time as the Night Elves, but here's the thing with the Night Elves, is there is a new evidence like about the Night Elves, and a lot of people say that the Night Elves were actually trolls and that they were enhanced by the magics of the well, and they have evolved from their primitive shapes into what they are now. So yeah, it is kind of harder to compare the Tauren to Night Elves, as we don't really know too much about the Night Elves because they kind of have two histories, like that they were race of their own and that they were trolls. So yeah, I mean, but it is said that the Tauren were actually the seed race, and they are supposed to be one of the original races, much like the dwarves and the trolls in the world of Azeroth. Alright, next, Peter asks, what happened with Maiev after Black Temple events? Well, Maiev did get back, and I mean, she did have some shorter coverage in the novel called Wolfheart, and pretty much what happened is that she was training with her watchers near Darnassus, and then some sort of weird killings of highborn night elves started happening, and then Malfurion told Maiev to investigate it, but it actually turned out that Maiev was the murderer and that she was ordering her watchers and she was committing the crimes herself. So her brother Gerard hunted her down, as he was ordered by Malfurion as well, and just before he was about to kill her, she managed to actually escape. So yeah, today no one really knows where she is and where she is hiding, but it is pretty certain that she is actually alive. Okay, next on, Connor asks, on the Dark Portal there are two statues standing there with a blade and eyes if you look into them, and a snake at the top of the portal. My question is, what are they, and is there a reason they are up there? Well, yeah, I noticed that too, kind of, and I don't believe it was ever actually officially confirmed, and a lot of people say it's either the depiction of the Death Knights, or the Shadow Council, or in some case, it might actually depict the figure of Maiev, although that is kind of unlikely, but my guess is that what happened, and what happens actually a lot in game development, is that artists just kind of have their own creative freedom, and they just kind of have some fun with the design. So they kind of designed it to be cool and didn't really have a deeper meaning behind it, and it wasn't really actually mentioned in the official story. So yeah, there are some guesses. As I said, it could either be the Death Knights or some of the orcs from the Shadow Council, but that's pretty much what it should be. Alright, and the last question is by Arxontis, and he asks, what if the next time we see Turelion and Illyria, they were on Argus and they return as corrupted minions of the Burning Legion? I'm not saying we should base a whole expansion on saving them, but that concept sounds cool. If you were ever to go to Argus, no doubt Turelion and Illyria would be there, and as the main boss for the expansion I would expect either a fully powered Kill Jaden or traveling into the Twisting Nether and conquering the Burning Legion. Well, yeah, honestly that is kind of a wild idea, to be honest. I mean, no one really knows what is going on with Argus as well, and the last time it was mentioned was around 25,000 years ago, which is a really long time in the Warcraft universe. I mean, when you mention the Burning Legion invasion 10,000 years ago, that is a really long time ago, and this is like 15,000 years ago before that. So yeah, I mean, it is presumed that the world was actually destroyed because the Eredar from there were actually practiced dark magics before the Draenei left. So it could be possible that Argus actually had a worse fate than Draenor itself, right now known as Outland. And also it is really hard to speculate where they are right now as well. I mean, Illyria and Turelion, because I don't really think they are in Outland, because we kind of explored the world entirely. I mean, but then again, they could be imprisoned somewhere, or they could be teleported to somewhere or whatnot. So yeah, I mean, but I don't see them coming back as corrupted minions, but more as new major characters in the expansion, like Tyrion was in the Wrath of the Lich King. Okay, that is all I have for now. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to leave your questions either by YouTube messages, Q&A comment section, or Facebook and Twitter, as you have links in the description for that below. Also, as I said, I will be going back to my regular schedule in about a week or so, so expect a new lore Q&A in about a week, and expect a new lore lesson in a few days, and they should be coming out regularly after that. Okay, thanks for watching again, and don't forget to like, favorite and subscribe. See you next time.